Okay, so I love writing, but I hate editing writing, especially when it's my own writing. And this is pretty unfortunate because editing is quite an essential part of good writing. Now, fortunately for me, AI can now take a lot of this heavy lifting off of me, and it can actually act as my own copy editor. So I'm going to show you how to do this directly in your notes. I'm going to be using Reflect, the note-taking app you see I'm in here right now. It has GPT-4 built in, so it's quite easy to do here. You could theoretically do this with ChatGPT Plus. It's actually a bit more expensive than Reflect, and it would involve quite a lot of copy and pasting, and you'd have to write your own custom prompts each time. So I'd highly recommend just doing this within Reflect, the app. You can sign up and try it for free at reflect.app. And the other thing I want to note is that we're not going to be using AI to do the writing for us. As you can see, I have a draft here written already. Pretty poor, which is why we're going to be using the copy editor on it, but it is written. So we're not going to have the AI do any of the writing from scratch for us or any of that cookie cutter stuff. So don't worry, we're only going to be having it act as our copy editor. So let's get started here. Again, going back into my rather disappointing draft, I'm going to select all the text of it. And I'm going to click on the magic stars here, which pulls up the AI editor. And here you see a list of prompts. Everything up top here is a custom prompt that I've created, which I'll go into in a moment. And down below are the system prompts that come with Reflect. So let's pull up the copy editor prompt and have it act as a copy editor. Go back up here. So as we can see now, it is taking my post. It's keeping the same writing, but it's just editing it a bit. So let's see what it's doing in the custom prompt here under the hood. So it's acting as a copy editor, going through the text in triple quotes, editing it for spelling mistakes, grammar issues, punctuation, yada, yada, making sure it is appropriately sized into paragraphs and making it the best effort. It's always important. And the stuff below the selected text formatting is just to make sure it doesn't include any fluff stuff in terms of introductions or context or whatnot. So it's pretty much my exact same writing. It'll take a while depending on how big your blog post is. So if it's only a paragraph, this will just take a few seconds. And it looked like it's about almost done with my article here. But again, same writing, pretty much the exact same article, just improving the punctuation, any spelling, grammar, all that stuff. So you could stop right here, but I'm going to show you how to go actually several layers deeper in creating your own custom copy editor. Because again, this is the custom or the prompt that just comes with Reflect, a custom one. So we can make it custom. But first, I am going to pull out some writing style tactics, I guess I could say. And what I'm going to do is go into one of my notes from a book that I just read recently called The Sense of Style. And it is a guide to writing in the 21st century. It was very excellent. And I read it on my Kindle, so I imported it here. So what I did is these are all the highlights that I highlighted from the book that I deemed important and that I wanted to apply to my own writing. And I took all of these and actually used that exact same AI assistant to list the key takeaways. And so now I essentially have a list of writing tips from this book. So let me copy my writing tips because I did very much enjoy what this book had to say about writing. And I'm going to go back over to my article. So let's do exactly what we did before. We're going to pull up the AI assistant. I'm going to pull up the exact same prompt, having it act as a copy editor, but this time I don't care what it's saying. I'm just going to clone it. And here I'm going to remove the clone for the title, and I'm going to have it act as, I'll say, my personal copy editor. I could maybe have also said my sense of style copy editor, just so that I know it's the book. But what I'm then going to do is come in here and I'm going to keep all of this. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, please follow these guidelines. And I'm just going to paste exactly what I had in there for my guidelines. I'm going to keep everything else the same. And I'm going to save that. So let's give it a try. We'll select our text again and act as my personal copy editor. All right, and here we go. So now you can see it's actually changing my writing a bit. It is rephrasing certain things. It's putting in new words. It is maybe even changing the flow a little bit, adding some examples and whatnot. So still my writing, but now it's quite heavily edited. And what I can do is I can kind of take a look at this. And first of all, I can see if I like it or not. So let's say I look at this first paragraph, evolution drives the digital nomad lifestyle, and say, I don't really like that as an intro. So I'm just going to go ahead and rerun it right off the bat. And then, if I am happy with it, I can let it run its course. And then usually what I do is I will go ahead and insert the text. So I don't want to replace my draft with this, because what I'm going to do after this is do one last layer where I kind of look at the edited version. I take the good parts out. I take the parts of my writing that I like and keep it. I rewrite the parts that I don't like. And I'll maybe do a couple iterations of this, which on one hand sort of sound like a lot of work, but it's actually like 10% of the time that it would take, because you're not actually having to do any of the editing. You're just choosing what you like and what you dislike and putting it into the final article. So you could do this a bunch of different ways. You don't have to do this off of a book. You could make this way simpler. This is a pretty complex outline that I did. Maybe you are an academic writer. You're writing for papers for, maybe a class. Maybe you are even a professor writing and you just need to match a certain style. So you can instruct it to match that style. Maybe you are primarily writing in a professional business setting and you want to match that tone. You could even set up each individual copy editor for different tones. So you could act as my business copy editor, as my blogging copy editor, as a social media copy editor. That's actually a really good one. Maybe you want it to edit tweets, so you can put in here character limits and different tones of voice and whatnot. So there's a ton of different things you can do with this. If you do a lot of writing, think through all the scenarios that you do, set up, whatever you would like your own writing to be edited as. Pretend you were hiring a copy editor. What would the job description look like? Put that in here. Put the instructions in here. And you can have whatever copy editor you like write your notes.